Imagine spending years of your life perfecting your craft, only to watch the worst person you've ever worked with steal your work, slap his name on it, and build a business pretending it was his. That's exactly what my former boss did. What he didn't know was that he stole from the one person who knew every single weakness he had. If you've ever been overlooked at work, disrespected by someone in power, or had your hard work stolen, you're going to love this one. Hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in. Because this is one of those rare revenge stories where karma doesn't just knock, it kicks the door down. For a while, I worked as a web designer at a small advertising agency that served a very niche industry. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable, creative, and for the most part, peaceful. The design team was small, tight-knit. We didn't have a creative director at the time, so each designer managed their own clients and projects. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Mostly because everyone actually knew what they were doing. Then leadership decided we needed a creative director, someone to unify the vision, someone to lead, and somehow, I was tasked with helping find that person. I reviewed resumes, conducted first-round interviews, filtered candidates. 2 applicants stood out immediately, for very different reasons. The first was a dream candidate, talented, humble, sharp, someone you instantly trusted. The second, let's call him John. John had mediocre skills at best. But what he lacked in ability, he made up for in ego. He spoke like he was doing us a favor by showing up. Every sentence dripped with arrogance. He interrupted constantly, dismissed questions, and acted like creativity was something you could fake with confidence. But John had one thing leadership loved: industry connections. He had worked in this niche before. He knew people. He promised new clients, new revenue. I warned them, explicitly. I told leadership John didn't understand digital design, didn't grasp modern workflows, didn't respect teams. I recommended the other candidate. They hired John anyway. And from that moment on, everything started to rot. It became obvious almost immediately that John had no idea what he was doing. Websites, apps, mobile design, completely beyond him. Yet somehow, he was now the one approving concepts. He'd override experienced designers with bizarre, outdated ideas. Ideas that violated basic usability. Ideas that looked bad. Ideas that clients hated. We pushed back. He ignored us. Projects failed. Clients complained. Revisions piled up. Guess who fixed them? Us. Meanwhile, John developed a very specific habit. He exaggerated how long everything took him. 4 days to design a business card. A week to review a homepage. Sales stopped assigning him work altogether. Instead, his responsibilities quietly flowed downhill, onto the design team. Our nights grew longer, deadlines tighter, stress heavier. 4 nights a week, we stayed late fixing John's disasters. And John? He left at 5 p.m. sharp, every single day. No apologies, no acknowledgement, no gratitude. Just a smug smile as he walked out the door. The worst part wasn't the workload. It was the disrespect. John took credit for successful projects he never touched. Used phrases like, "As creative lead, this reflects my vision." He inserted himself into praise meetings, accepted compliments with a straight face, and he genuinely believed everyone admired him. Meanwhile, the entire office quietly fantasized about him disappearing. I tried to endure it. I told myself things would change. They didn't. After a year of resentment, exhaustion, and rage, I quit. About a month later, I heard John had been fired. I felt relief. Then, one evening, while scrolling LinkedIn, I froze. John had updated his profile. Founder and creative director, new agency. Same niche industry, Curious and suspicious, I clicked. That's when my stomach dropped. His website loaded. And there it was. My work. Project after project. Designs I had built from scratch. Concepts I had fought for. Entire campaigns. Rebranded, rewritten, repackaged as his agency's capabilities. My hands went cold. My heart pounded. I knew exactly what he'd say if confronted. All work was done under my creative direction. He'd stolen credit before. But this was theft. I didn't email John. I emailed someone much more dangerous. One of the partners at our old agency. My message was calm, polite, clinical. Hey, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but it looks like John is using your company's intellectual property to directly compete against you. If I had to guess, his next step would be contacting your clients. I attached screenshots.